Hey, welcome back to Pros on Call. Paul Scheidler here with you, right here on Cruisin Oldies, 1040 AM, 98.5 FM, 735 in the AM here in our studios. Probably about the same time in your car, home, office, as long as you're in the mountain time zone. And if you're not, I don't know where you're at, so you're going to have to do the math. So there you go. Okay. Here's the deal. I've been excited about this, and you know this because I've been talking about this a little bit here over the course of about the past week. But fact is that before we came back on the break here, we were talking about this, that every day there are auto accidents someplace around town, every place like that. Now, accidents happen, and that's why they're called accidents. We don't wake up in the morning and go, well, I'm going to get into an on purpose today, and I'm just going to run into somebody. Well, some people do that, but not very many, thank God. But the fact is that when those things happen, what do you do? I mean, it's not like you get into an auto accident every day, and I should hope not, at least. And are we prepared to deal with these types of things on our own? So I'm so excited. We have Bradford Pelton here. He's an attorney at law here in Colorado Springs, and thanks so much for joining us. It's great to have you here in the studios.
Thanks, Paul. It's my pleasure, I assure you.
Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about your practice. What is your specializations? And I'm going to just tell folks, even though you're a young man, you started when you were 12. You've been practicing over 37 years.
Yes, that's correct. Same location, same floor, actually. 37 years at 320 South Cascade. Same phone number, 719-634-8828.
Sounds like somebody's been doing this for a while and does a pretty good job.
Well, I certainly am used to it, and I've got an awful lot of experience doing it.
Now, you do personal injury, and is there other areas of practice that you do, or do you specialize right in the personal injury area?
Without sounding like an old school guy, I limit my practice, which is the way we used to say it, to personal injury, premises liability. I do an awful lot of workers' compensation also for claimants.
Okay.
And keeps me very busy.
Yeah. And you know what? I just want to kind of just jump into this, and let's just get to the meat of it right away. You've dealt with a lot of people. Do you find predominantly when people come to you that they've tried to figure some of this stuff out on their own?
Yes, they have.
I can't wait to hear this.
Well, it depends on the person. I get them in all manner of shape and form. Some people come in right away. Some people have problems when they try to deal with these professional insurance people themselves, and they don't recognize that a careless word or some
loose lips sink ships.
Well, they do it for a living all day, every day.
Right. And they're probably recording the conversations too, right?
Most definitely.
Okay.
And again, it's an adversarial proceeding. It's certainly not the enemy, but they have their agenda.
Right. And
it is to protect the insurance company's interests.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No,
it's
it's business, right.
And the sooner people are thinking about themselves, the better off they're going to be. That's why we call it a personal injury. And in my office, we do treat each case personally.
And I'm glad that you brought that up, Brad, because that's one of the things that will kind of shift gears a little bit here that I want to talk about is that, I'm not trying to put anybody down here. It is what it is. But people probably get really tired of this. I know that I am, about these outrageous claims that you see usually on television. I got $2 million, I got a private island and a country, okay, there are... Everybody's got a unique situation, and certainly I don't think that it's really the right thing to kind of cast that big net and let people think that they're going to be a millionaire and they're going to be retired because somebody rear-ended them.
That is certainly true. They're not going to be a millionaire. The stuff you see on TV is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't
they're making claims about this, and yes, they can make the claim because they had a case that, like you were talking about, unique situation. The CEO of Coca-Cola wanted to drive one of the trucks one day and ran into somebody and caused some injuries. Well, that's probably going to be a pretty big payout, but I don't think we're going to find that too often.
Well, I have handled a couple of cases against Coca-Cola, and
really,
I have gotten my clients a substantial settlement. Unfortunately, they earned it, and so when you hear those big numbers, you have to remember that there are big problems.
And it probably takes a long, long time to even get something to that point because everybody's going to drag it out under the legal proceedings.
Well, what we try to do in my office anyway is we try to get you from A, the beginning, to B, the end, as soon as possible, but not sooner.
Okay.
The idea that you do have to be cautious and you do have to be thorough, but I do not like dragging these things out. Probably the most important part of the process is to make sure you know where the money is coming from and where the money is going. And your health first.
Right.
Please get well.
Yeah.
And then talk to me about what the claim might be worth.
And I'm glad that you put it that way, because that just goes back to the philosophy at your firm is that you want people to be whole. You want them to have their health back. The first claim or the first call that they should make, obviously, should be to their trusted medical provider and get checked out and find out, what the extent of any injuries that they might have sustained is, so that they can get their health back, and then turn the rest of it over to you after that. I would imagine is the smartest thing, right?
My considered advice would be to contact your doctor as soon as you can, but I certainly think that the earlier you get someone like me involved, the better off everyone's going to be. It's a lot easier to, like I say, begin at the beginning and go to the end when you know what you're doing. I certainly have people come into me and I have to back them up, get them back several forks in the road to get them back on the correct path again. I'm certainly willing to do that, but the most straightforward, most maximum result is to see me as soon as possible.
And that makes sense. When you're putting it that way, I'm thinking about this, Brad, and I'm thinking, okay, it's a little bit like coming into the movie in the middle of the movie. And so now I've got to get you involved and tell you what happened in the beginning before you can take and we can get to the end of the movie. So, okay, that makes sense. So, get that medical care that you need, and then right away consult with an attorney. And folks, if you're just tuning in, we're talking with Bradford Pelton. He's an attorney at law here in Colorado Springs, specializing in personal injury, workers' comp. It's absolutely free for people to give you a call to have a consultation with you and your staff.
Yes, sir.
And how do they get in touch with you?
They can call me at 719-634-8828. I do have a website, and I do have a Facebook page.
Like him on Facebook. What are you on Facebook?
I don't know. I will say that I have some very capable and just wonderful people that work for me, and I would defer to Alex.
Okay, but it's probably Bradford Pelton. Yeah, but online...
I'll know next week.
Yeah, there you go. Online, it is bradfordpelton.com, bradfordpelton.com. But you can give them a call. You can call today at 719-634-8828. That's 719-634-8828. And it's absolutely free for a consultation with Brad and his staff, and I really encourage people. So get with your medical professional first, then give you a call. Like I said, that's absolutely free. You're going to sit down, understand exactly what's going on, and give people their options from there, right?
That's correct. No obligation to speak to me at all, and I'll be happy to meet with you in person. I like to do that with each and every new client. I don't turn that over to paralegals or anything like that.
Wow.
It's all one-to-one.
Okay, so they're going to actually meet with Bradford Pelton.
That's correct.
Folks, you can give them a call, 719-634-8828, 719-634-8828. Now, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got a whole lot more information here for you with Bradford Pelton, attorney at law. So keep with us right here on Cruisin' Oldies, 1040 AM, 98.5 FM. Pros on Call will be right back. Been here talking with Bradford Pelton. He's an attorney at law here in Colorado Springs. Specializations, personal injury, workman's comp, and when we talk about personal injury, we always think about auto accidents, but, think about it in other ways too. Sometimes you're injured on property or something, slip and fall and things like that. Those are all things that you really kind of need to consult with medical professionals about. If you've got some injuries, find out what's going on there. But certainly talk with a qualified attorney and get personalized individual service and have somebody that knows what they're doing. Bradford Pelton, the law office, they're skilled at this, over 37 years of experience, and it's absolutely free for you to talk to them. And you can call them today, 719-634-8828. That's 719-634-8828 for the law office of Bradford Pelton. Before we went to break, we were talking a little bit about that, and people, as I said, should consult with a medical professional first, their caregiver, get themselves checked out, then give your office a call, let you know what's going on, and get your advice there. But the fact is that you could feel fine. I was in an auto accident many years ago, and I was kind of like, yeah, I guess I'm fine. And within several hours, it was like, I'm not so fine. So it's interesting that even what we consider minor things can sometimes turn out to be a lot bigger than what we think.
Without a doubt. I was also in my own automobile accident. This is probably 25 years ago. And the vector physics, the dynamics of metal meeting metal, whether there's a crush collision or a strictly elastic collision, the vector physics involved are simply unpredictable, and you just don't know. Even a low impact, minor damage rear ender, I've seen significant and often, frankly, crippling injuries occur.
Wow.
Certainly, I've seen horrific accidents where people walk away without a scratch.
Sure.
You just don't know until you know.
Right. And, the fact is, we were talking about this on the break, and this is, this goes back to what we were talking about, getting competent legal advice and getting somebody that has been around the block a couple of times, because thankfully, I don't think a lot of us deal with this on a very regular basis, but this is interesting because you were saying there's a lot of moving parts involved, and most of the time your medical providers, they want to be paid, and you think, well, I've got insurance, so I'm going to go see the doctor and take care of it. But the insurance companies, the medical providers and things, they look at this a little bit differently once you said you've been involved in an auto accident or something like that where there could be liability from another party.
They certainly do. One of the many misconceptions about an automobile accident is that automatically it's the other party's responsibility to pay your bills. Mm-hmm. And that's not true. You have to pay, you have to front the money yourself. There's a benefit on most people's insurance policies called medical pay benefits.
Right.
I would urge anyone who's shopping for insurance to please consider making sure that that's on your policy. You can opt out of that and you can save a few dollars. Mm-hmm. But believe me, when you need that insurance, it's awfully nice to have. But beyond the $5,000, now you're looking at either uninsured people, you're looking at Medicare, you're looking at Medicaid, you're looking at health care, insurance companies, and everybody has got an interest in what happened to you.
Ew.
And I'm talking about they want some of the money.
Right, exactly. And you wouldn't necessarily know that, and you could be blindsided by this if you were out there just saying, well, I'm going to take care of this myself, and they sound like they're being fair, and they're going to give me this much. And then the next thing you know, you got 10 other hands that are sticking out in front of you going, hey, where's ours?
What's worse is when the claim is already settled.
Right, and that's why I was thinking,
and they come knocking on your door.
And you're like, what? What are you talking about? But they have a legitimate claim to that
yes,
that they
do.
want you to pay.
And I work with them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It is an adversarial process. I don't want to underestimate or under convey the idea that they have their position, we have ours.
Right.
But I also work with them. They are, I hesitate to use the word colleagues, but I certainly know who they are.
Well, it's a business type of situation.
Yes,
in all aspects. And while you say that it's adversarial, I understand what you're talking about. Is that each party has their different focuses and they have their separate goals. But at the end of the day, if you don't know these things, then you're going to easily lose the game.
Well, and I hate to call it a game. I will say that there are rules. Mm-hmm. There are winners and losers, and there is a ball. And what you want to make sure is that you don't get stuck with the ball.
Last one holding the ball loses.
That's right.
Well, and the fact is, and you can tell me this better, but this is what I've heard, is that there are folks out there that they say, well, I'm just going to take care of this myself because it's not a huge deal, and, I'll get more money if I don't get an attorney involved. Well, I'd heard that there were studies that showed that you actually end up well above and beyond with hiring an attorney because of their expertise.
To be candid, there are good cases and there are bad cases. There are
Always.
Cases where you're quite successful. There are cases where, frankly, there isn't much you can do. Mm-hmm. But it is the wisdom of awareness, at least you know. And I would urge anyone to consult with an attorney. I do think that you do better with me than without me.
I would think so. I was in an auto accident many, many years ago. I had the simplistic attitude also, Brad, that, I can handle this, and stuff. And I don't know where I got that idea. Anyway, we won't even go there. I settled on the property damage claim because the car was totaled. But now, looking back on that, I can say, you know what? And we did end up hiring an attorney, but the attorney had said, well, you did really good on that. And I was kind of surprised that you actually got that much. But, I was kind of tenacious about it and stuff. And, it was what it was. It was a vehicle. It was worth this much money. And so, yeah, that's what they paid. But when it came to the injuries and things like that, oh, my gosh, what a nightmare. And I was like, I'm out. And hired an attorney, and he did a great job for us and actually negotiated with some of the medical providers, as you were talking about, so that because the folks were underinsured, so there wasn't really enough money to go around. And he did a great job of negotiating with some of the medical providers so that they took less money and didn't come to us looking for the difference.
In 37 years, I can't think of a single client that said to me, they paid me too much money.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. And that's really the end of it. But I guess my point about this whole thing is that when it's free to consult with an attorney, why wouldn't you do it? And I think that you need to go through that process where you feel comfortable with that particular attorney, with his firm, and you think, okay, great, I trust them, they're going to do the right thing for me. And it's kind of a little bit of an interview process for you and for the folks, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it is. I don't take every case that comes in.
Sure.
And not everybody hires me. Mm-hmm. But the 37 years of experience, I can tell you that more people leave happy than not.
And that's important right there.
I do think that I'd rather have you see the doctor one time too many than one time too few. I want you to be as well as you can be. I want you to know that all of the issues have been addressed and that what can be done has been done. That's when we resolve that claim. I'll do that with your authority first before I talk to the insurance company. You'll know completely what's going to happen in your file before I go talk with the insurance carrier.
Oh, wow, really? So there's no gray areas, if you will, where, people ask, and I've asked people because I've known people that have had, situations occur, whether it's slip and fall accidents or whatever. I'll say, so what's going on with that? And they're like, I don't know. And I kind of go, what? Well, my attorney's handling it. I don't know.
I will say this. If you want to talk to me, you can. I do return my calls, and you can get a hold of me.
And that's where I find that it's better to have a local established attorney. And there again, I'm not trying to put anybody down out there. I'm just saying that there's a lot of these big firms out there where you're just a number. And if that's something that you're comfortable with and you're okay with that, then, by all means. But it doesn't guarantee that you're going to get more money. It doesn't guarantee that you're going to have a faster settlement, that you're going to have a better outcome. These are all things that folks need to understand up front when they choose that attorney office. And hopefully they're going to make the choice for the office of Bradford Pelton.
Well, that's certainly my preference, and I invite your attention. If you have any questions, you can certainly call us at 719-634-8828. My office is at 320 South Cascade, right downtown Colorado Springs. I'm a half a block south of the courthouse. We're on the west side of the street, second floor.
And you can get to the courthouse quicker because they're so quick or so close.
Happily, and I'd like to leave you with this. I like to show them the trial they're going to have if they don't settle your claim. And usually they do.
Oh, wow. Folks, you give them a call today. And as Brad said, if you just have some questions, maybe you've got something going on right now, maybe you've been in an accident, workers' comp, slip and fall, all these different types of things, it's absolutely free to give them a call and talk with them at 719-634-8828. That's 719-634-8828. And, of course, like I say, if you miss any of this, just go to prosoncalllive.com. All their contact information's right on our page on our pro businesses. Brad, such a pleasure to be in here. Time went too fast. Got to have you back. Maybe you can get in here next week, next Tuesday, and we can talk a little bit more.
I'd love to do that, Paul. I really like what you're doing here, and I appreciate very much the opportunity to speak to your audience.
Well, we're going to bring you back. He said it right here, folks, and so make sure that you tune in next Tuesday, and we'll have Brad right back here.